Howdy y'all, it's Hidden Purple, back again for another in-depth game review. Last week I discussed Recore, my least favorite game of the year so far. This week I'll be talking about my favorite game of the year so far, Slime Rancher. Slime Rancher was released in early access January the 14th, 2016. This wasn't the whole game though. This version of the game was missing large areas and several critical features. The definitive version of Slime Rancher was released September 1st, 2017, developed by up-and-comer Monomi Park. Since its release, Slime Rancher has enjoyed near critical acclaim. Slime Rancher's simple yet in-depth gameplay loop combined with its audio and visual art makes for a relaxing and unforgettable experience. I won't be spoiling any of the major plot points. It should be fairly easy to get through this review without spoiling it. Within the world of Slime Rancher, you take on the role of Beatrix LeBeau. In search of the ultimate adventure, Beatrix signed up for a job with Z-Corps and was shortly after shipped off to the far, far range. The story in the game is doled out Metroid style. You learn more about Beatrix from letters she receives from one of her friends back home, and you learn more about Hobson, the previous rancher on the ranch that you now own, and the world at large through hidden messages scattered throughout the world. These plots, while not essential to the overall experience, are both very well written and definitely worth following from beginning to end if you feel like taking the time. Slime Rancher falls into the working simulator genre of game. Working simulators come in many forms. Phoenix Wright, for example, lets you live out the fantasy of being a successful lawyer. Games like Harvest Moon let you escape your life to a world of simple means. Slime Rancher sets itself apart in the way that it has you interacting with the world. The Backpack. Using this versatile tool, you pick up slimes, plorts, vegetables, and other resources throughout the world and use those resources to expand and upgrade your ranch. This gameplay loop is incredibly satisfying and has a calming, cathartic effect. It's easy to get lost in the world while you play and just relax and enjoy the experience. Within the plots on your ranch, you'll be able to build a number of different buildings to help you along the way. You can build more corrals so that you can raise a wider variety of slimes and produce more plorts and in turn make more money on your ranch. You can build a garden which allows you to grow fruits and vegetables. The chicken coops allow you to raise the different breeds of chickens which are used to feed certain breeds of slimes. And you've got the pond for raising water slimes, the incinerator for disposing of excess goods and raising fire slimes, and then there's the silo for storing any goods that you don't want to sell right now or that you don't want to use right away. Each of these buildings can be upgraded in different ways to make your life easier as a slime rancher. As you gather more new bucks on your ranch, you'll also be able to buy ranch expansions. There are a total of 4 purchasable ranch expansions. One of the purchasable expansions will unlock a new activity, Slime Science. If you can gather the new bucks to pay for the slime lab, you'll find that the slime science is an interesting activity. But for me, it's upon unlocking this activity that I normally lose interest in the game. It's very tedious at first, and it requires you to learn a lot of new mechanics already laid into the game. If you didn't plan for it in advance, which you probably didn't if this is your first playthrough, you'll have to spend a lot of time gathering plorts for the activity as well as gathering the unique materials. There are 3 types of extractors and you have to use these to mine resources throughout the far, far range. It takes a lot of time up and has a pretty steep learning curve. If you do manage to get past that initial learning curve though, the slime science does end up being a pretty gratifying activity. The ability to craft teleporters makes your life much easier, and then there are the curios that you can craft and place around your ranch that add a little extra flair. After you've unlocked all of the purchasable expansions within the game, there are still 2 more expansions to unlock. These add a few plots for you to build more ranch buildings on. These 2 expansions are unlocked via a pair of activities that you can do later on in the game. This brings me to the game's free updates. Since its official launch last year, there have been 3 major expansions, all of which have been free, and each one has added new and interesting ways to play the game. There's the Ogden Wilds update, which is my least favorite of the 3. I've only played this distraction once, and when I did, I found myself trapped in the wilds for hours. When you teleport in, you'll find a series of deactivated teleporters. Every time you enter the wilds, one of the teleporters activates at random, and that's your way back out. I found myself lost there for over an hour trying to find my way back out. Could just be that I had a bad experience with the activity, but I've never been able to bring myself to go back there. The next update, Mochis Megabucks, adds a new character to the game and another new area with its own unique side activity. You race around the track, jumping through rings to extend the timer and firing bolts of electricity at the fast-moving Quicksilver slimes. If you sell enough Quicksilver plorts, Mochi will give you the blueprints for a superior chicken coop, which will automatically sift out older chickens and hold more chickens. The expansion also features my favorite B-plot within the game. As you get further along, you'll learn more about Mochi and her relationship with her father. By the time you've gotten all of the tiered unlockables within the activity, you'll have learned all about Mochi and gained her respect. It's not an important plot, but I enjoyed watching it unfold. The third and latest expansion, the Automatic Update, was released just last month. It adds a new piece of equipment that you can craft in the Slime Science Lab. The update introduced the bee drones, which are a pretty intuitive little gadget that you can program to take care of various tasks around the ranch, freeing you up to go focus on other tasks. It's especially convenient if you have a huge variety of slimes on your ranch like I did. By the time I unlocked the drones, I had over 10 different slimes on the ranch across 4 ranch expansions. There just wasn't enough time for me to make sure they all stayed fed. Slime Rancher fits very well into your time budget, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily easy either. If you get reckless, you can die, causing you to lose a day in game and all of the resources in your inventory. The real consequences of death depend entirely upon how well prepared you are, though. If all of your slimes will still be fed throughout the day that you've lost, then you don't have much to worry about. But if you didn't put any plans in place to make sure your slimes stay fed, you might wake up the next day to some pretty serious unpleasantness. I like that the penalty for death is pretty much left up to the player. If you prepare for the eventuality, there isn't much consequence. But if you aren't prepared, you'll suffer for your lack of initiative. Everything considered, Slime Rancher will get a 10 in your time budget. A charming story with a fun campaign and an interesting gameplay loop with a well-balanced consequence for death makes this game a good choice for any busy gamer. I'm giving the story an 8. Both of the main plots and any of the B-plots are charming and fun to experience, but even the main plots kind of feel like B-plots when put in the context of the actual game. For replayability, I'm giving Slime Rancher a 10. With 3 gameplay modes to choose from and more currently in development, plus an intricately crafted gameplay loop, you'll never really get bored with this game. I'll be able to pick it up years from now and start a new save and have just as much fun as I did on the first time I played it. For gameplay, I'm giving Slime Rancher a 7. It took me 3 saves to get past the initial learning curve of the Slime Science. Whenever I start Slime Science, I tend to get taken out of the experience. And then there's also Ogden's Wild to consider. That update pulled me out of the game almost as much as Slime Science did. This puts the final scores at 8 and 10. At a $20 price point, I can recommend this game to just about anyone. 3 major content updates with more planned for the future also makes it feel like a steal when you're only paying $20 for the game. Definitely keep your eye on Monomi Park. I think we can expect great things from them in the future. What did y'all think? Have you played Slime Rancher yet? Did I miss anything in my review? Let me know your thoughts down below. If you don't want to miss out on any of my future content, then be sure to subscribe to my channel and push the notifications bell so that you're never in the dark about any of my content. Before I take off, I'd like to give a shout out to another new content creator just like me. Her channel is called No Enchilada, and you can find a link to that channel in my description. Thanks for watching, y'all.
Oh, please don't say that you'll go. My heart can't bear the news, just knowing that you'll be 1,000 light years away.